evening, and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host. As always, you can catch me right here each and every day, Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. or whenever I am available. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in your community, we will talk about it. You know what we talk about most, and that is politics, because politics is everything, and everything is politics. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all is well with you. I hope that your day has been good and you have been safe. Well, Memphis still is alive and well. Four individuals arrested and seized guns and 40 kilos of cocaine. Where are the parents of these individuals? Did they ever teach them anything, or do you think that the parents are enjoying a part of these ill-gotten gains? The gains that they're getting the money from the drugs. Do you think any parents are benefiting from that? Do you think they fail to teach them what's right versus what's wrong? Or did they just drop out of school and have no means or ways to take care of themselves? So they went to dealing drugs, robbing people, carjacking people. Why? Because they had to survive. And whose fault is it? Is it the fault of the parents? Is it the fault of the school system? Can the school system take part of blame of the crime that's being committed in our community by the youth that didn't finish school? What was it and what could it have taken for the school system, the teachers, the superintendents, to make sure, or the laws? But the laws are there so that when they turn 14 or 15, they can just drop out of school. Do they make it too easy, ladies and gentlemen, for the kids to drop out of school? Or do it get so bad that the teachers, the superintendent said, we don't give a damn, just pass them, just get them out of our way, and let's deal with the students that really want to learn, want to be productive? Oh, do you say already, oh, you ain't gonna be nothing but a criminal? Go and drop out of school. And they drop out, and then they become a part of our debt that we have to take care of them. Do the system, the school system, do it try hard enough to teach these kids, or do they just pass them on, whether they can read or write? They want to pass them on and find out if the next group will pay attention, and if the next group have any home training, and that we can't give them home training. They supposed to gotten that at home. They know that when they come to school, they're supposed to learn, but the parents are not encouraging them to learn. When something came up at the school, if the teachers called and said, we have a parent meeting, my boys and mother, we were there because I wanted to hear exactly what the teacher was saying about my sons. And thank God most of it because they had their home training. They knew that if they cut up, they would get tore up. And they know that you go to school for one purpose, and that is to learn. And I did not get a call, just like my father told me. I did not get a call. You cutting up because I'm working too hard to make sure you get an education. So Don't you be up there acting a fool. But did anybody tell these four here that was arrested, four arrested, gun seized, and 40 keys? Now let's look at that for a minute. Where did four black individuals get 40 keys of cocaine? They say 40 keys, so I'm assuming 40 keys of cocaine. Where did they get it? And who gave it to them? So they just own the life of crime. Now they got to pay whatever the price is going to be for them peddling drugs in our community. And sometimes they never get to the people who are actually supplying the drugs. They get to, as they call it, the low line drug pusher and the big dope dealers seem to get away with it. These four individuals don't own, as they used to say, airplanes. They don't own boats to bring drugs into this community. And they get to the point they really don't care about the neighbors, their friends. They are so quick to get this stuff, give it to their friends so they can have a regular customer. Something is wrong and something is a disconnect between the parents, the students with each other, the teachers who don't give a you know what about them because they are getting on their nerves and they don't want to learn, so you just push them on out the way. Are we failing overall the system? Are we failing the children when there was not a demand on them that you would go to school, you will learn, and you're going to come here, you're going to graduate, you're going to have your diploma, and once you get out of it, whatever you want to do as a grown person, then it's on you. But then you got to figure it out. I'll help you for a little bit, but you got to get out of this nest. And that's where we fail our children again. We fail them when we let them stay in the nest too long because they think that your house that you paid for becomes their house. And they don't have to get up because they're going to get up in the morning. When they do, they say, "What you cook? You're grown. You know what person. You ought to be fending for yourself." But then I waited, that's what they said, too long before I told you you had to get somewhere. There's a blame all around for the failure of the school system, along with those teachers who just pass them on to get rid of them, for the superintendent who don't watch the teachers to make sure that and there's a lot of blame and the most blame. And I say it all the time. Charity begins at home and then it spreads abroad. And I have a problem when they used to say if your student act a fool, if you go home and follow him, he has food for a parent. Do you think there's any truth to that? What do you think? If you want to chime in, you can give me a call at 901 288 5779. Again, 901 288 5779. I want to make sure I can get to see you as you give me your opinion and what do you think as it relates to who failing our students. Who's failing? Are we just too easy to let them drop out of school? The laws are out there, as I said. And y'all excuse my voice. My voice seems like it's going. This weather is changing on us every day. Uh, these sinuses. But hey, pray for me. I pray for you. Make sure I get my voice back. And but who is failing? Who is failing the children? That's something I wanted to throw out to you for a minute. We'll talk about that, but there's something else that I saw on the news, saw on Facebook, where 9 people jumped in the nomination to take over where Edmund Ford Jr. resigned from in that seat. I believe it's District 9. 9 people jumped in that seat. Well, one thing that gets me about the 9 people that jumped in that race, you had John Harvey, a former county commissioner, who decided he wanted to get in the race, and he got his name there for nomination. A former county commissioner. Here we go with the warmed up soup again. Want to serve it over to us again if he gets the appointment. And you're saying to me there's nobody else qualified to have been in that seat. But we allow this to happen. They say anybody can jump in the race, anybody can. And yes, they come in, talk about their experience, and they was on the county. While on the county, they was taken from Peter to pay Paul. So what do you got to brag about? You feel, James Harvey, the system, because we are no better off since you have served, and now you're trying to get back on that. But I'm not just talking about James Harvey, former commissioner, who I know well. I'm also talking about Patrice Robertson. In my opinion, nothing but old warmed up politician soup that want to serve again, but didn't do anything while they were in there. Let's follow Patrice Robertson, former school board member. The school system is not better off since she was on there. You know the mess that we have in the school system. She goes from a school board member to a city council member. Is the city better off that she served on the city council? I would say to you, no. But she didn't stop there because you kept promoting her from one position to another. Keep in mind, school board member, city council person, from city council serving on the Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Board. That's a sweet potato pie. If I'm not mistaken, she's probably still serving on that board. The board that go along with the rates that the utility company is putting on you. But it's the city council that remember she was the one, along with others, who voted to give up our Memphis City School charter. But is the school board better off since she voted to get rid of the Memphis City School? Then she went to the light, gas, and water. Just one after the other. And I ask you, is there no one else that can serve in this community? And now she wants to be appointed to the county commission. Look how many steps she has taken, and others who are warmed up old politicians who have done nothing in the position that they're in, but you keep socially promoting them from one position to another, and you wonder why Memphis is in the shape it's in. I hope you've done your homework. I'm curious to see who the county commission will elect on Monday. If I'm not mistaken, I think they said Monday. And I'm going to do my best. If it's Monday, I'll find out. I'm going to go about do my best to be there. to see who do they get. I'd rather see someone who's never been in a position than taking the same old mess, serving it again on the people. And we are suffering from the poor leadership. And I told you before, I would hate to be a politician. And people know I served in the city council, the county commission in Memphis, Tennessee. And they look at us cross-eyed because of the poor or the lack of leadership we have in Memphis. But see, it's a money game. And the people really don't care. Those you are voting for and call themselves leaders, they really don't care whether you win or not. All they care is about the money. And that's what it is. How do you, for over 20 years, one position to another, and you just keep pushing them along? That says something also about the people of Memphis, Tennessee. They are well qualified individuals that you looked over. They are well qualified people who refuse to run because of this mess that we have going on in this city. And my argument would be, when will you wake up? When will you speak up? When will you vote up the right people and put them in a place as opposed to these career politicians? Now, James Harvey did 2 terms, if I'm not mistaken. He's been out a while, but he wants to come back. Why do you think he want to come back? Because it's a sweet potato pie. It's a cash cow that he can sit back and do what he did the 4 years, and not only him, but the others who sit back and did nothing and received that 40,000 a year for doing nothing. It's up to you what you're gonna do. It's up to you if you will continue to let this happen and do nothing when it comes to the election. It's on you. Don't you say a word about anything, your conditions, what's happening to your community, if you didn't get up off the couch. And as I used to say, if you didn't get up off of your do nothing and start doing something, who do you blame? You can't blame anyone but yourself. Right now, you got someone in your home that's able to go vote, that don't have a criminal history, but never registered to vote because you did not teach them or force them to get up and go and get a voter registration card. That didn't happen in the Bernard household. There's one thing my mother and father, they insisted on, is that when you become of age, you're going to be a registered voter. They participated, in politics to make sure that you did better for yourself and for the children that you're going to bring into this world. You're going to give them the opportunity that we gave you. We're going to do the same thing, and you're going to inform them, and you're going to teach them. And we did. But what did you do? If he's laying up there eating your food, sucking up your air during the summer, warming up to your heat during the winter, and you can't get him to vote or her to vote, who failed the children? Who are failing them? Some of the parents, some of the teachers, and some of the superintendents. You think about it. $300,000 to $400,000. I'm just throwing that out. As a superintendent, and all you have to do is get in the car, come down there to the board of education over there on Hollywood, walk around like you're important and you ain't doing nothing for the children. You're not demanding anything from the teacher because it's a game. You get the paycheck, go home and relax. Don't call Miss Williams about Johnny and Bobby and tell him he cutting up in school. You don't care. All you want him is in and out. And you are failing the school system. And the political situation is failing everybody because they are not worthy to be in the position that they are in. They are not worthy, ladies and gentlemen. But you are worthy because you are a citizen of this community and you have the right to vote. And let's get down to the nitty of the gritty so you can get these people out of office. And I said that. Get them out. If they got too much name recognition, then they've been around too long, playing politics on you all these years. 4 different positions. I can name you politicians that have been in 2 positions, been county commission, now they're clerks, and didn't know what it took to be a clerk at all. They found out that everybody in 201 popular understanding now that Heidi Kuhn with no leadership went into the criminal court clerk's office and it's just all messed up. So it's so messed up she can't fix it. Now she wants to be your county mayor. When you had the right person with 36 years of director of operation, made her way all the way up, but you played politics. And look at what you got right now. She muddied the water. Whoever comes in there need to have experience in that office because if you're running for that office and you don't know what the bathroom is, not only that, you don't know what it is, how to run that office. You don't know what is an indictment. You don't know what a secret indictment is. You don't even know the details and the functioning of that office when it comes to warrants. When it comes to the thing that have to operate in that office every day, you're going to depend on the people that they are now, but not taking anything from them. They had to learn, but they didn't have anybody in that criminal court clerk's office because the old head walked away from it. They got tired of Heidi Kuhn. So the experience walked out the door. Heidi Kuhn couldn't learn from the experienced people because the experienced people saw what it was all about. And you see the answer now. Now she wants to be your county mayor. You file all for that hook, line, and sink again is on you. And who's suffering for the lack of knowledge? It is the people of this community that is suffering because you have inexperienced people in these positions. If you want to know how inexperienced that individuals are when they get the office and never been in the office and they have to go before the county commission for their budget, who do you think they have on their side to do most of the talking? And some try to make you think they know about the office for the little they have learned. And they just run in their mouth and don't know nothing. But there's a person sitting on either side of them and they're doing all the talking. Those are the people who have been on that battlefield of that clerk's office and know it. And they answering the question. And the person that been elected to the office can't even answer the question. But all you've done, you voted them because you recognize their name. Recognize their name. And you put them in office. Or sometimes I laugh and I chuckle, and I probably shouldn't because in the long run, we as citizens are suffering. But what I'm laughing at, what I do laugh at a situation like a Heidi Kuhn, I laugh because you put somebody in office that didn't know what they're doing. Not only her, there's several other clerk's office. That individual went to the clerk's office straight from the county commission that has no idea what they were doing. But that criminal court clerk's office stands out louder than any other office, but they all have problems because you are putting people in office with no experience. I'm looking at individuals that are running for that office. In the name of the people who've been there, none of them have any experience that's running in that office. Now you have a clown up there, and I ain't going to call his name. He's not even worth even considering. He don't know from his hole in the ground, and you know what I'm saying. But he got his name in there because he worked up there as a manager or supervisor, but don't know what he's doing. But you turn around and try to put him in there. As I get this list, I'm gonna call out the names of the people in my experience and my know-how that don't know anything about that office. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a problem. I'm gonna keep talking to you about this race and this election that we're coming up on. This is March. April, early voting will start. May, the primaries will be there. What gives you the right other than being 18 years old with no record? What gives you the right to run for office that you don't know anything about? In your mind, what gives you the right is that money that you're going to get paid. And I can't do nothing but shake my head when it comes to the Democratic Party and what they got going on from the leadership to the bottom floor. What do they actually know? Years after years putting in people as the chairman that don't know from a hole in the ground. But you keep electing them, but you got an opportunity to change the dynamics of this office. You can do it, but will you do it? Or you say, but nah, just talking, and yeah, I'm talking, but I got some truth to power that I'm talking about, and that is, if you're running and don't know anything about that office, not only will the state take over the school board, if we keep misappropriating money as they say we are doing, when we can't find $77.7 deficit, not only will they take over, if it's legal for them to take over, they will take over the operation of the city and the county because they are helping to fund it. The first step is take over $1.8 billion school system. And you keep doing what you're doing in the city. It may not be, the state could be the federal government. Because if this mismanagement keep happening and people bank accounts are being full of our taxpayers' money, nobody has been indicted as it relates to the misappropriation of funds from the Memphis Transit Authority. If you can go in and steal, rob from the position that you've been put in to do and nothing happened to you, oh, everybody want to be a part of that. But just wait and see. Follow the money, you're going to follow who is doing what they're doing as it relates to the system. And this system that we have in this community is flawed. Ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you. My voice is not right, but I'm gonna have to leave you just here for a minute and work on that voice. And if everything all right, we'll be back. But this sinus, I'm drinking all of this tea with a can't put no little toddy in it, but I wish I could. But these sinuses, I don't think it's a cold. I think it's sinuses right now because the weather is changing. Ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you. Thought I would throw something out for you to think about. But in the words of my grandmother, she always said, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll see you on tomorrow. But remember what I said, and we'll come back. Going to have some guests coming up next week. And we'll talk about their candidacy. And remember what I said. I say trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of it. You have been listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. Have a great evening.